All right, welcome, commanders. Just wanted to run through this new content, the Jackle's Necropolis. I pushed through Nightmare fairly easily, but I misunderstood several of the abilities the boss has. So I'm going to go through what I learned while pushing through this content, go over some easy strategies that use very few heroes. I was, in fact, able to defeat Nightmare mode with just three, two DPS and one healer. I'm not assuming everyone's going to be able to do that, but the content is very easy. So we'll just get into it. I'll explain what I found as I went along, and then I'll show how I completed the content. So baseline, what you're going to need here, if your gear is good, 2 DPS. I went with DPS that I thought were easily accessible. We've got Iovar here. He's currently on a special rate up as well as a guaranteed 200 summon. Running his artifact, Varen's Axe. Gear is pretty straightforward. Went with high HP, 27k attack. Like I said, stacked HP fairly high with the gear. There is some abilities that do significant damage. If you don't have enough HP, you're going to die in one hit. So, 340 crit rating, 100% crit. I am running one of my Watchguard rings here, double HP on it. Just keeping my crit rating up high. Second hero, Kanan. Figured most people have Kanan. He was just limited recently. I am running the crafted weapon I made during the event, as well as Cataclysm. Similar stats. Pushing up to 50k, 25k attack, 514 attack speed, maxed out crit, 360 crit rating. His artifact. For the 3-hero strat, arrowless. Leia's just here for the Lord bonus. Not recommending the 3-hero strat for most people. Again, gotta have decent gear. If you don't have the gear, there are some other options which I'll go over. So go ahead and get started, kind of explain the boss. What I found once I got into the more difficult tier, just based on some of the wording for the abilities, it's a little dubious. First off, the ability here, this smoke around the boss, does significant damage to anyone in it. Doesn't look like this front row is in it, but if you place a unit there, it will die very, very quickly. So do not place anything in the front row. The 2 units get dropped like this. I just turned on auto attack just for the 2 of them. Again, arrowless makes this a joke. She can keep them up in any sort of scenario where she is not enough to keep them up. Her save ability will trigger. This ability that just went off right here, you saw the golden arrows above each unit. That's going to hit the unit that's targeted as well as all units adjacent. So this is one of the things that is deceptive. When it says adjacent, it does not mean adjacent in the same way that something like King Har's says the same wording, adjacent. It's not like Rockfall where it hits everything adjacent, all of the squares around them. It's actually just the squares directly to the right, left, front, and back. So it's those 4 squares that are unsafe. You're going to see the damage spike here, hits the ground. So again, that's these squares. This square, this square, this square, this square. You can stack up units next to each other. They'll still survive typically. But you're usually going to want to run some type of shield ability. So this is the next ability the boss does. He puts up this ring. It's called like King's Ossuary. While this is up, the boss cannot take any damage. Once it goes down, the boss gets stunned for a significant period of time and takes extra damage. So if your ultimates do like a big spike damage, you might want to, if you're running into issues with like the amount of damage you're doing, you might want to hold your abilities and then pop them just after that goes down for the extra 30% damage. His next ability is right here. He summons these dog things. I'll slow it down so you can see it. They charge in and they explode. So you're going to see them come in. They explode. It does significant damage. Significant damage. Here's that AoE ability again. So as long as your healer's good, your damage is good, you can literally run 3 units to complete all of this content. So I'll just let this run through while I kind of talk about some other options here if you don't have arrowless. So if you don't have Aerolus, Lily is a great option. You can put her here or here. And then you're going to want to run Hollow because you need the extra rage gen here. If you don't, for whatever reason, have Hollow, or that just isn't enough, if you have access to Diao-Chan, put Diao-Chan here, Lily here. They'll be safe from the slam ability, and Diao-Chan can boost everyone's attack. So anything like that that like stims their damage. I think you could probably get away with Leia here too. So if you did Lily, Leia, and then Leia just sideways so she's hitting everyone, her ult and the buff that she gives out might be enough to push you over. Or if your damage is just good enough, you can possibly get away with Lily. I completed it just barely with Lily, but in all of my best gear. So I'm not recommending that for people that are, coming to these kind of videos for advice. It's probably not an option for you specifically, but something to keep in mind. You can get away with, if your gearing's good enough, literally just the 3. If you want to run more units, certainly possible. Just pick spaces that are not in use. Make sure a healer's able to reach them. If, for whatever reason, you have particularly bad units or bad gear, you can run up to 8 units. So the way you'd space that out is a unit here, a unit here, a unit here, unit here, unit here, unit here, and then one in between. You could run 3 heroes in the back, 3 melee up front, 2 range DPS. I was able to complete that with just 8 units, all purple units, but I had to get significant HP mod rolls on the gear that I was using on those units to keep them alive. My damage is kind of lower here, but again, reached the 90k with just the 3 units. The gear that I'm using, again, some have double HP rolls, some have blue rolls, still doable. So you should be able to complete this content fairly easily with pretty much access to any units. The only exception to that is going to be if your units happen to be low HP units and you don't have decent HP rolls that you can use to get over that damage threshold. But yeah, if you're a mid-tier account, early late game account, you should be able to do this content fairly easily. Again, the 2 heroes that I showed examples of here, Iovar specifically, you can get this axe here. You should have enough currency after going through the content to buy that prior to Nightmare attempts. Otherwise, Kanan, if you've been playing for a little while, Kanan's easy to access. If they're still giving Wukong to new accounts, Wukong is another great option for multiple reasons. Not only is his damage decent, but he also has that single forgiveness of death monkey business ability. If you have him awakened, it gives it to 2 tile or units within 2 tiles, which might save you in a clutch moment. So other units to consider, Valara reduces the damage that the boss is doing, which is nice. Also inflicts vulnerabilities. Rygar was pretty decent in some attempts that I did with him. Does significant damage. Obviously, he's a lord. But he does significant damage, offers some healing as well. Twyla's great if you have her. Yeah, the units don't really matter too much, especially if you run 3. Again, I was able to do it with just 2 units. Easily able to do. I hit 101k with my highest attempt with 2 units, so should be very doable. Yeah. Anyways, hopefully that helps some folks that might be struggling if they were not paying attention to how some of those abilities read or confused by the wording. If it did help you, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or if you have any questions or comments, and I'll be happy to respond. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. Thanks.